Hey, first grade friends, it's Thursday, December 17th. Remember, on Thursdays, it is sentence dictation day, so everybody needs to get out their yellow dictation books so you're all ready to get started. All right, our learning for today, we're working on soft C and soft G. So we've learned on Monday that the letter C and the letter G can make two different sounds. It can make the hard sound and k and g, but it can also make the soft sound of s and j. If it has that E, I, or Y after it, then it changes its sound. We also did some learning about DGE, and we are going to continue our learning of both of those things today. And we're going to put that into practice in our word dictation by writing and reading those words. We're also going to continue our learning with decoding two-syllable words. All right, make sure you jump into Google Classroom. You need to do your Haggerty phonemic awareness video. This is super important. This is the foundation of our reading. Don't skip it. All right, as we start decoding our two-syllable words, remember that the most common syllable division pattern is between the two consonants in the middle. As we get more advanced, we're going to learn more patterns, but right now, the most common way is between the two consonants. So let's take a look at our first word. So everybody needs out their whiteboards, you need out a piece of paper, and you need to go ahead and write this word on your paper. Now, you might already know how to read that word, but we're still going to go through the steps of decoding that. So here it is, everybody's written it on your board. At any time, either pause the video if I go too fast to work through it, or pause the video, decode it at home, then come on back and you can hear how we walk through it and check and see if you got it right. So let's take a look at our word. So we know our first step is to mark the vowels. Let's do that. Mark the vowels. Draw our bridge. Come in between. Mark our consonants. We're going to mark our last consonant. Okay, so now we know. Notice we don't have a silent E on this one. We were working very diligently on that one last week, but we've got a different pattern this week. So let's go ahead, find your two consonants, and you're going to divide. Remember, that's not necessarily dividing in the middle, but it's dividing between the two consonants, so don't get that confused. All right, let's go back. Now we need to decide what type of syllable we have. We've been working on two main syllable types. We've talked about a third briefly. Our most common syllable type we've been working with is a closed syllable. Remember, if we have a closed syllable, we've got a vowel, then a consonant. We've been working on silent E. So we've had a vowel, consonant, E pattern. We do not have a vowel, consonant, E. We don't have an E at the end of our word. We've also briefly, we haven't done it in our syllable work yet, but our other syllable type we will get to and we've briefly talked about is an open syllable, where we have a vowel with no consonant following it. So let's take a look. What kind of syllables do we have? We have a vowel, then a consonant. We know that is a closed syllable. Let's look over here. We have a vowel and then a consonant. So we have a closed syllable. All right, we're ready to read. So we've got pen, ill, kill, pink kill. Well, that doesn't seem to make sense. What was the rule that we learned this week for our phonics rule? If we have an E, I, or a Y after the letter C, it makes the sound. Oh, so now wait a minute. We have the letter I after the C. That means our C is going to make the sound. Let's try again. Pen, ill, sill, pencil. Say it fast. Pencil. Our word is pencil. We really had to apply our new rule here. We still heard the short vowel sound because it is still a closed syllable, but we had to change the sound of our C from a hard sound to a soft sound because the C was followed by the letter I. Okay, let's erase our board and let's try our next word. Write this word on your whiteboard or on your paper. Okay, here's our next word. You can pause the video, take it through your steps, or follow along with me. Here we go. Mark the vowels. Draw the bridge. Mark everything in between. All right. Remember, the most common place to divide a word into syllables is between the two consonants. All right, now it's time to identify the type of syllable we have. Over here, we have a vowel, then a consonant. We know a vowel and a consonant is a closed syllable. We have a vowel, then a consonant. Again, we know that as a closed syllable. I hope that you noticed something else in this word. What else do you notice before we start decoding it? Did you notice that the letter C is right after, the letter E is right after the letter C? Remember, if we have an E, I, or a Y after the letter C, it's going to make the S sound. So we know that this letter is going to make the S sound. Okay, let's give it a try. We still have a closed syllable over here, so we're still going to have a short vowel sound. And can, sell, sell, cancel. Say it fast. Cancel. Our word is cancel. Did you get that one right? All right. Go ahead and erase your board. You need to now get out your sentence dictation book. Let's get everybody on the right page. One thing before we get started, we've talked about how do we know when to use DGE at the end of a word, okay? We use DGE when we follow the 1, 1, and 1 rule. This also was talked about on Monday. If we have one syllable, one short vowel, and one final sound, and we're going to review this in our dictation, we would use the sound D, the letters D, G, E at the end of the word. Let's get to a little practice, and then this will become more clear for you. All right, here it is. This is our dictation for today. It is the 3rd week of Unit 2. So we have the soft C, soft G, and DGE is the paper that we're looking at. So you need to pause this video and you need to get into your yellow dictation book and you need to pull out or you need to open up to the 3rd week of Unit 3, which is soft C, soft G, and DGE. All right, I think we're ready. You've got your book out. Now, check your body. Are you sitting at a table spot? Are you sitting at a desk someplace where you can work? We don't need, not on the couch, not on the floor. That's not our best learning environment. And you also need a pencil to do your work. So check your body, make sure you're in the right learning area, and we're gonna listen closely. Remember, we're gonna pound out our words and then write them. So let's get started with our first word. All right, let's look at our first word. Our first word is a biggie. We've got a lot of sounds in this word. This is a 2-syllable word. Now, we haven't had a 2-syllable word when we've been doing our dictation, so this will be new for us. We actually have 2 pounds because remember, our syllables are represented by the pounds. So the word that we're going to write first is the word pencil. Repeat that word for me. Good. Now, let's pound it out. Pencil. First syllable, pen. Pen. Let's look at our word. That's right, our first syllable. Pen. Second syllable, sill. Tap it out. S-I-L. Sill. Now be really careful with this. Remember, we're working on soft C and soft G. So this is not gonna, it sounds like an S sound, but what sound do we hear following it? What vowel sound? Sill. S-I. We hear the I sound. And when we hear that I following the sound, we know that this is gonna be a C, because if you have an E, I, or Y following the letter C, This is going to make the S sound, and we still have a closed syllable. So here's our word, pencil. Pencil. If yours matches mine, move it over to the rewrite line. Pencil. Okay, here we go. Number 3. Number 2. I want to talk about number 2 first before we write it. So we're going to talk about the 1, 1, and 1 rule. If we have one syllable, remember that's 1 pound, we have one short vowel in our word and one final sound. We're going to be using the sound, and the final sound is J. We're going to use the letters D, G, E. Okay? So if that final sound is J, we have one syllable, we have one short vowel sound, and one final sound is J, we always use D, G, E. Okay, we talked about that TCH, a little bit about CK as well. So D, G, E. So here's our word. Number 2, the word is fudge. I love to try new kinds of fudge. Fudge. Let's tap it out. Fudge. Fudge. Now we had one syllable. We had one short vowel sound. It was and our last final sound was J. So remember, we're going to use D, G, E. So let's try it. J. So we've got 3 letters that are going on that last line. J. D, G, E. Okay. Fudge. If yours matches mine, move it on over to the right line. J. Okay, let's look at number 3. We have a couple of things going on here. Remember, we're working on soft C, soft G, so we need to think about that rule. We also have a silent E at the end of this word. That's what our little stars mean. So here's our word, race. I love to race my bike. Race. Here we go. Race. Tap it out. R-A-C. Race. Let's look at our lines. R-A-C. Now, we know that this is a silent E, friends. So if our letter here, let's do this beginning. R-A. Now we hear a S sound. But we're not going to put the letter S here because we have an E. Remember, if the letter C is followed by an E, I, or Y, it makes the S sound. Here's our word, race. If yours matches mine, move it over to the rewrite line. Race. Good. Let's go on to number 4. Number 4, the word is gem. A ruby is a valued gem. Tap it out. Gem. J-E-M. Gem. Let's look at our lines. J-E-M. Now, what sound did we hear for our vowel? We heard an E sound. So the beginning, even though it sounds like a J, remember, if you have the letter G and it's followed by an E, I, or a Y, it makes the J sound. So our word is going to start with a G. J-E-M. All right. If yours matches mine, move it over to the rewrite line. Gem. Good. We're doing a great job. Let's look at number 5. Number 5, the word is judge. The judge will determine the law. Judge. Let's pound it out. Judge. Judge. Let's look at that one again. We have 1 pound, judge. So we have one syllable, one short vowel. Judge. Yep, one short vowel. It says so we know that's the letter U. One final sound, j. Yep, one final sound, and it sounds like a j. So we're going to use D, G, E, judge. Okay, j, just like fudge. They rhyme. Let's write it. j, j, D-G-E. There's the word judge. If yours matches mine, move it over here. J. Here we go. There. Great. Now we've been working on our soft C, soft G, and DGE. Let's take a moment. Let's read those words. Pencil, fudge, race, gem, judge. Let's read them back up. Judge, gem, race, fudge, pencil. Wonderful. All right, we do have a few sentences, and you can find those sentences on the in the presentation. Let's take a look at those sentences for just a moment. Our sentences: Grace got gold lace to trim her gown. Okay, so there's our first sentence to practice writing. This is our word right here we're working on. We have our E, I, or Y following that letter C. Grace got gold lace to trim her gown. Grace got gold lace to trim her gown. Grace got gold lace to trim her gown. Awesome. Let's look at sentence number 2. The fudge made a smudge on the page. Got a lot going on in there. We've got our word fudge with DGE, smudge with DGE, and then we have our E following the G. So the fudge made a smudge on the page. Let's pound it out. The fudge made a smudge on the page. The fudge made a smudge on the page. Okay, go ahead and write that. Practice writing and reading that. Here we go. Here's our last one. He could not tell the age of the gem. Could's one of our sight words we were working on. We've got age and gem. Those are our words we're working on. He could not tell the age of the gem. He could not tell the age of the gem. He could not tell the age of the gem. When you're working on these, make sure you're working on your handwriting. You've got capitals, you've got periods at the end of your sentence. When you put it on the rewrite line down here, you've used good spacing and you have copied it correctly. All right, make sure you've done all of those things. That's really good practice. Let's go back and find out what's next. All right, so here it is. Okay, so we need to work on some reading fluency today. Remember that we're putting all of these rules together for our fluency. Here's our fluency packet. Everybody has that. You're opening up to story number 8. Story number 8. It's titled Jazz. You need to go into Google Classroom. You need to listen to my reading of reading fluency and stepping you through that story of jazz. You need to listen to it at least once. You can always listen to it more than once if you need. Then you're going to practice reading that story 3 times. Then you're going to retell in your own words one detail from the beginning, one detail from the middle, and one detail from the end. You can go ahead and send that to me. That would be awesome. All right. If you need to, I really need you to go back into our video here and you're going to watch the visual drill and the blending board because you need to participate in that part of the lesson. We did not get to that during our daily lesson. All right, here we go. Little brain break. We got 5 penguins. Stand up, waddle, 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 waddle 3, waddle 2, waddle 1, and stop. Sit in your chair. Here we go. We're going to do the most common sound first. Soft sound. S. Hard sound. G. Soft sound. J. I. Spur. her, a, twa, onk, ger, ink, nt, ang, ung, fur, her, ul, ch, full, unk, skr, full, st, t. All right, here we go. Let's blend these together. I'll do it, then you do it. Dr, mp, drump. Your turn. My turn. Dr, drum. Your turn. My turn. Open syllable here. It's going to make the long sound. We have an open syllable. Sul, you. Slew. Your turn. My turn. Sul, unk. Slunk. Your turn. Sul, this is a closed syllable. Sul, n. Slun. Your turn. Closed syllable. Sul, n. Slin. Your turn. Silent E syllable with vowel, consonant E. Sul, n. Sline. Your turn. Silent E, vowel, consonant E. Sh, n. Shane. Your turn. V, n. Van. Your turn. Z, unk. Thunk. Your turn. Sh, unk. Chunk. Your turn. Onk. Conk. Your turn. Now, remember when you have D, G, E, it's going to say the J sound. K, odge, codge. Your turn. Open syllable, long vowel sound. K, O, co. Your turn. Closed syllable. K, ag, cag. Your turn. Now we have an E after the letter C, so it's going to make the S sound. S, egg, seg. Your turn. Tr, egg, treg. Your turn. Tr, ig, trig. Your turn. Silent E. And we have an E after a G, so our G is going to say J. Tr, ige, trige. Your turn. Yay, good job. Awesome work today, first grade friends. If you need to, go back and view it again, or see anything that you missed. See y'all soon. Bye.